Mm.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Ladies' Night.
Hey,
Hello.
what's up? What's up?
What's up? What's up?
That 2 weeks went by fast, right?
Yeah, it did go by
Yes.
fast. It did.
Yes. We got a lot to talk about, and we are going to do our best to keep it at an hour. And then we're about to bounce, okay? Because we got stuff to do. So I hope
Mm-hmm.
everybody's doing good. Welcome back to Ladies' Night. This is always a fun time for us to just come and talk about some interesting topics. So I'm going to start out and then we're going to just kind of jump around here. But welcome everybody. Please make sure you hit the like button. Please also make sure that you subscribe to Peace Love's channel and Really BTV's channel. I'm just a small little piece of this puzzle, but if you're not subscribed, please make sure you go ahead and do that right now. All right, so the first story we're going to get into is the Brittany Griner and her wife. Okay, so let me go to the story really quick. So Brittany Griner is a professional women's basketball player. She plays pro overseas, and since February, she's been detained in Russia. And so just this week, it was declared that she is wrongfully detained. We kind of knew that she was wrongfully detained, but I guess over there in Russia, per their customs and immigration or whatever, I don't know the legal terms, but they found hashish. Hey, Marva and Jack, they found hashish oil in her luggage. I don't know if it was her carry-on luggage or if it was a checked bag, but I think it was a checked bag actually. And so they detained her. And just yesterday or the day before yesterday, her wife, her name is Sherelle Griner, she did an interview with Good Day LA's Robin Robbins. Correct me if I'm wrong. But it was really, it was kind of sad, honestly. She kind of almost broke down during the interview. Hey, cool gamer. But so the whole thing is, she's been there since February. It's been over 90 something days. Her wife said in the interview that she hasn't spoken to her since she's been arrested. She's only received like one or two letters from her, and had received an initial text message the day that she got arrested. So now her wife Sherelle, Brittany's wife Sherelle, is now petitioning Joe Biden, and she's in contact with two of the other families of people who are American citizens who are also, I don't know if they're wrongfully detained, but I know that they are detained. And let me see, and I should have wrote their names down, but I didn't. But one of them's last name was, oh God, what's the name? What's the name? Um, Not monkeypox. Let me get out of the story. There's two other individuals, but anyway, the U.S. and Russia at one point did a prisoner swap of these two individuals. And shame on me for not having the facts and details, okay? But just bear with me.
It's okay. Go ahead. Just keep going. You
But
good?
now they're trying to figure out how they can, what arrangements can be made to bring Brittany home. She doesn't deserve to be incarcerated. It sounds to me like she's really trying to keep her hopes high, but it's tough. It's one of those tough situations. Um, but yeah, we're gonna start this hashtag Free Brittany, not the other Brittany, but the Brittany Griner Brittany, because she deserves to come home. So there is more that I can get into, but for the sake of time and just because my memory has failed me completely, I'm gonna move on. What do you ladies have to say about this story?
I mean, it's just sad. I mean, it's really, really sad because it feels like she's becoming a casualty of war, but um and I don't know if that's in the literal sense. I don't know if casualty of war is a little bit too heavy, but that's what it's starting to feel like, and it's not even a war against the United States. So
Right.
they really are using her as a game piece, and it's unfortunate because that's someone's life, that's someone's loved one,
Yeah.
and I really feel for her wife. I really do.
So my piece on it is this: like, I agree with what Peace is saying. She is a casualty of war. You know, the United States and Russia's relationship has not been great for a while, but in light of what's going on with Russia invading Ukraine and the fact that the U.S. is not supporting that, makes relations even worse. So Russia has no incentive to allow Brittany Griner out of jail, and according to them, the United States did do an investigation, and they said based on what was presented, which of course that doesn't mean anything, they're going to give you what they want you to have. They feel like that she did have what they're saying she had. However, my concern or my issue is I just feel like if this were a different athlete, there would be more noise, there would be more buzz, there would be more being said. Now, I do know that the WNBA asked people not to do more, not to speak out, because they feel like the fear, I guess, is if, and the family also has asked for people not to make too much of a wave, because the fear is if they make it too much of an issue that maybe they'll hold her as like, oh, well, wait a minute, we've got a celebrity here, we can, maybe use her as an example, and it may make the situation worse. So respectfully, I get that part. But I don't understand why, like you said, why hasn't the president met with the family? Why hasn't there been more as far as transparency between the U.S. government and with Brittany Griner's family? Like, what are we doing? What's not happening? And the fact that she did an interview tells me that they're not getting the answers. If they were quiet and not saying anything, then I say, okay, well, maybe they know what's going on. But the fact that they're speaking tells me that they don't. And that's my concern, is that I feel like the government is not being as transparent and as inclusive with the family as I feel like they would be if this were someone else. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I agree with both of you. I think unfortunately she is seemingly being used as a weapon, a tool, an example. And of course, we already know Russia's shiesty. I don't know if I can say that, but we already know that they are only concerned with themselves. They're very brutal. They have no empathy towards anything dealing with the United States. And they're 100% going to use this to get whatever they want. They're going to try to, use it as a bribe, use it as, what I'm saying, some kind of, trade. They want to trade of some sort. So it's like tit for tat. They're going to want something in return. What that something is, we don't know. But is there another Russian prisoner here that they want exchange for Brittany Griner? And how is that even fair?
Yeah, I think they're going to use her as leverage, and I understand. I understand their strategy to not shine too much light on it, because even as of right now, I mean, they're really twisted over there. They're not allowing Kamala Harris to fly over there now. Like she's
on the no-fly zone.
Yeah, which is the vice president of the United States.
Exactly.
So this is what we're dealing with. So I understand what they're saying. Like, don't put, because I think that it increases her value the more that we, have her story in the media, and there's more of a desire for us to have her, released. So it's unfortunate. I feel like her wife must feel like she is alone, and it's unfortunate that she feels that way. And so for that reason, I hope that the president has reached out to her. I'm almost certain that he has, but it's just a sad story all the way around. It really is.
It really is.
It is. And I do want to give a shout out for some Black Girl Magic her wife did just graduate from law school.
Law school.
So
yes.
even in the midst of all that she's dealing with, and I can't imagine what she's been dealing with this last semester. And I know from other family members how stressful that last semester of law school can be. So shout out to her for being able to persevere, push through, and still finish out law school in the midst of what I'm sure she's been dealing with since January, you know.
Right.
100%. Yeah, so we're going to continue to, I mean, we'll continue to pray for her and her family. And I'm really glad that Good Day LA and Robin Robbins gave Sherelle the platform really to kind of share what she's been struggling with, because that is just, I couldn't imagine my significant other being in prison, yet in a different continent, you know what I'm saying? Somewhere way far, far away, or different country rather. So, but yeah, we're just going to have to keep the hashtag free BG, free Brittney Griner, and shout out to the WNBA, who, even though they're not wanting to make a big splash about it, they do make sure that, you know, on their courts and stuff, they do recognize her and her number to keep her spirit alive, because, you know, she's not dead. She's wrongfully imprisoned.
Yeah. She's on every court, her number, her initials and her number, they have it on the court. They're going to be wearing it having it all season. And I think her team is actually wearing her number. So yeah, I mean, at first I was like, they need to be doing more. But then I understood, I understood where that's coming from. But again, I just think there needs to be more transparency with the family that I feel like they're not getting. But you know.
Definitely. Well, we will keep you guys posted. This is another one of those stories that is unfolding every day. It's been 96 days so far. So let us know if you want us to keep this story kind of going in our follow-ups, and we will certainly do that.
Absolutely.
All right. Next up is Really BTV.
All right, I'm gonna come on camera. So unfortunately, I will be reporting on 2 massacres that our country has experienced over the last week. Well, there was really 3. The third one gets overlooked. But we know that we had a shooting in Buffalo, New York, that was racially motivated, where 10 people were killed, 3 more injured in a grocery store in Buffalo, New York. Then there was a shooting at a church in LA that had a large Asian population. So that story gets lost a lot. Unfortunately, it gets lost, I guess, because not enough people died. I don't know.
Is that the one in Laguna Hills?
I think it was a very influential doctor died. He had a lot of like celebrity clients. He was killed. And then unfortunately, the day before yesterday, we had the school shooting in Texas. And so here's the thing. We all know the story. There's no need we know the story. The frustration where I am with it is, so let's start with Buffalo. It's a racially motivated, it's clear. The young man had the murderer had, racial slurs written all over his gun, social media, so forth and so on. The murderer in Texas, now my frustration is that when I say we, I'm not talking about us, but the media is so quick to always try to find an excuse, to always try to find an explanation. The parents of the murderer in New York is talking about, it was because of COVID. Oh, he was fine before COVID. The murderer in Texas, it's he was bullied in school and he didn't wear the right clothes, and so that's why he was angry. And I'm thinking to myself, so we're gonna keep just finding excuses and keep finding justification. I'm not even talking about the gun lobby right now. I'm just talking about the media and how the media continuously chooses to represent and report these things. It frustrates me when I see it, because what point are we just gonna call a spade a spade? At what point are we just gonna say this is what it is? Especially when we're talking about babies.
Right.
You're gonna justify what this boy did. He killed babies. And there's been some question about, the response. There's been some question about, how he got into school. And I don't want us to get caught up. I see a lot of people getting caught up in the debate about school safety. This isn't about school safety, because as you can see, you can't go to church without worrying about somebody coming into your church. You can't go to the grocery store. So this isn't about school safety. So I really don't want us to get caught in the minutia, you guys. Right. This isn't about the Second Amendment as far as somebody trying to take your guns. That's not what this is about either. This is about figuring out what we have to do as a country to create a safe space. And if that means that people's availability to guns is limited, I'm not understanding what the problem is with that. Like, there is no other first world country that has this problem. They just don't. But yet here in the United States, we have had 27 school shootings this year. We are in May. Mm-hmm. And we have had 27 school shootings. We have had over 100 what they consider to be, mass murders, based on the criteria. So what is it going to take? Because I'm not desensitized to the event, because I'm very shook by the event, but I'm desensitized to the response, because I don't expect the response to be anything different than what we've already gotten. I just don't. And maybe that's maybe that's me being cynical, but that's just where I am with it. That, I saw it today. I posted it on my Instagram today, where one politician was like, well, these kids dying is just the sacrifice we have to make to protect the First Amendment. And that was legitimately from their Twitter, legitimately something they wrote. Somebody else is talking about, with the video games and the rap music. I thought that went out in the 90s. I thought we stopped blaming rap music in the 90s. Like, what are we going to do to look at the real issue and say, this is what the real issue is? I don't know. But I'm gonna say this and then I'm gonna shut up, because I feel like I'm just rambling now.
No, you're not. Keep going. But we have the same thoughts and sentiments.
But what I'm gonna say to everybody who's listening on the replay, what have you, what I'm gonna say is, you guys have got to get involved in your local election. This is not a President Biden issue. This is not a Congress Senate issue. This is local lawmakers. These laws can be put on the books on a local level. And what we have to do collectively, it is a mid-election year. Please again, find out who's running, find out what they're standing for. Stop voting party and vote interest. Because as much as I would like to say, Democrat, maybe every Democrat isn't in your best interest. Vote interest. We see what's going on with Roe v. Wade. It is about voting your best interest. These people voted against their best interest, and now we're dealing with the consequences of that decision. And so that is my rant for the day. Please check and find out what local elections are going on. If it's the midterm elections, please make sure that you are voting in your midterm elections. Please letting your voice be heard, and please pay attention and know who's running. I don't care if it's the dog walker. You know what I mean? Like, I don't care who. Pay attention to who's running for these offices, because when we need something, then people want to make everything, this and this and this and that, when a lot of stuff could have been handled on the local level, because people either did not vote or did not vote in their best interest. I'm going to use one last example and then I'm going to shut up. Breonna Taylor. When we talk about Breonna Taylor and we talk about the lack of response from the district attorney. Everybody wants to talk about, oh, the district attorney is connected to this person. Oh, the district attorney did this. Oh, the district attorney is going to do that. But where was all this concern when he was running for office and people could have voted him out and people could have voted in somebody who would have served the best interests of the people? We can't keep being reactive. We have to start being proactive and vote and let our voices be heard and be an active part of the process before there's a problem. You understand what I'm saying? I'm gonna shut up now.
Really? I mean, honestly, that's a lot that you said, and it's enough said. I mean, you're absolutely right on every single point that you made. You know, I'm so tired of this same repetitive cycle every single time there's a killing, and it feels like nothing is getting done. So we really need to focus on what's happening on the local level and do something about it. This isn't about politics. It's about people voting against their own interests. I mean, there really isn't much more to say than that. That you summed it up perfectly. I don't even know what to add to this at all. So I'm just so tired of seeing the same thing play out again and again and again. And it feels like it's just completely inhumane. It feels like America is just so desensitized, you know.
We are.
Even to today I was watching this reporter up in the faces of these parents who, you know, lost their children, and it just seems just so. I'm just so tired of it. Like, I'm just so tired of seeing this, and I just feel like even for the reporters to you know, to interview these families who are dealing with such a great loss is just unbelievable to me, you know, and it's all for, you know, views and clicks and who can bring
rating,
you know, the most, you know, personal stories for ratings and stuff. It's just, I just think that the world is just kind of like sick and desensitized right now. So let me stop, because I'll just keep going. So yeah,
that's what I'm saying. It just
yeah.
And as somebody who has to go into a school every day, listen, it's not a good feeling. You know, it's just not. And you know, thank you, Peace Love. Peace checked on me the other morning, asked me how I was doing, you know, because it is a lot, you know, having to drive back into the school and deal with that. I mean, I had a conversation with my students and I asked them, you know, how you feeling? Are you feeling anxious? What's going on? And yeah, they're processing, you know. It's a lot to think about. It's a lot to process.
Yeah. Yep. Prayers continue to go out to the families who lost their babies, to the kids' friends who are now, you know, struggling, to all the other students. You know, this is a very, very traumatic crisis. It's an active crisis. So we definitely need to continue to send our positive thoughts and prayers, you know what I'm saying, to these families. But yeah, it's devastating. It's devastating. One of my good friends at church, her relative was actually on her relative on her father's side was one of the people that got shot in Buffalo. And she said the shooter shot her initially in her back. She dropped to the ground. And she was one of the older ladies. She dropped to the ground and she was like, you know, screaming in pain. And they said that he walked over to her and then ended up shooting her in the head because she was writhing in agony. It's, you know, it's just.
I mean, I'm not going to get into all of the details because I think, you know, but if you guys go and read some of the stories of these, the stories are starting to come out now about the kids telling their stories about what they saw, what they felt, what they heard, you know, faking that they were already, you know, deceased. And, you know, just read the stories. And again, we are not the problem. You know what I'm saying? It's these politicians that act like it just doesn't bother them. I don't know. I can't.
Yeah.
So we gave y'all the sad on the front end, and let's get into some fun stuff.
Yes.
Let's get into some fun stuff. Hey, everybody in the chat. Welcome. Thank you guys for being here.
All right. So I'm up next. We are going to talk about first this threesome. Well, three is a crowd, they say. Two is a couple and three is a crowd. So
Okay.
let me go ahead and share let me see. Do I have the permissions to share yet? Okay, awesome. So according to TMZ, let me go ahead and get into this. Okay. So as you
Juicy,
know,
juicy.
right. So as you know, Diddy is all about quote unquote love these days. Maybe
Sure.
a little too much because two women in his life are going at each other now after both were in Las Vegas where he hosted the Billboard Music Awards. In one corner was City Girls rapper Young Miami, and in the other corner was model Gina Hugh. I believe that's how to pronounce her name. Miami was the Billboard Music Award. He was at the Billboard Music Awards Miami was there as a presenter, while Gina was a very interested spectator. So she posted from the show saying, "Baby daddy is hosting billboards," right? Trying to start something. So Diddy after partied hard on Sunday night with Young Miami, but things got messy Tuesday when Gina shared a pic of Puff Daddy's lips on her cheek. So that's the picture right there. And that prompted Young Miami to fire off more than a few subtweets. So these are the things that she says. She says, "Somebody give this B some attention. Um, attention, B, I'm the attention. Let's be clear. I ain't arguing with no B that got cheap ass lint ball carpet in their house. Um, effing on a billionaire, you freaky ass B."
Can you
So
read
yeah,
that again?
huh?
Can you read that again? What did she say?
I ain't arguing with no B that got cheap ass lint ball carpet in their house.
Mm.
Effing on a billionaire, you
Mm.
freaky ass B. But
Ooh,
most
shade.
notably, she's saying she will continue to see Diddy no matter how many pics Gina drops on the gram. So this is what Young Miami says. She says, I am, and that's why I F with yo nigga. I ain't coming off him. I don't care how many pics you post. Get that
Mm.
head, bread, and leave.
Mm.
It's ruthless out here. And then it got nasty as Gina invited Miami to dine on male genitalia, not Diddy's, we're guessing, and eventually plugged her own and eventually plugged her own rap song. So as you can see, that's what Gina said back. "Suck my D. I don't give a F. Why are you so pressed, mama? I thought you was a city girl." So Diddy, for his part, has remained mum about the women sparring after him, at least publicly. So yeah, basically, long story short, these two women were going back and forth over Puff Daddy. Do you think Puff Daddy cares?
Not at
Oh,
all.
okay.
Puff Daddy is a multi-millionaire. Apparently, he is worth $885 million. And these ladies are going back and forth over his attention and affection. And y'all know daggone well he's probably got a third, a fourth, and a fifth, in the arsenal that he's probably dealing with. And I just think personally, as women, I don't, I don't, we can do better. We can do better. I think people really do get caught up in how much, money a guy has. And, but at the end of the day, you have to have, a great deal of self worth. And you don't want someone to just be cheated, like, treating you like you're cheap or somebody that can just be totally disposable. I wouldn't want to be in a situation like that, and I wouldn't want that for any woman. I don't care how much money he has. And so at the end of the day, it's really about him. And it's hard for me to watch two women go back and forth when it's really the guy who's sitting there trying to juggle two women and he's the one that's in the wrong. What are your thoughts, guys? Ladies.
He's disgusting to me. I don't like Diddy. But to your point, I think honestly, in the bigger scheme of things, yeah, woman, we got to do better. We are the choosers. after all? Why are we, not saying that myself, but why is it so common for women to date date down, right? We gotta do better. I would never fight over Diddy. I don't care how much money he has. Look how crusty he is in this picture, and he probably has however many download D's on the side. So no thanks.
My thing is this is this is how I feel about the situation. And maybe this is just an age thing. We have got, and when I say we as women, not us individually here, but what we have to do, we have got to start just accepting our role as it's laid out. I do not believe for any moment that Diddy has promised anything to these women more than what he's giving them. I don't think he's promised them no ring. I don't even think he's promised them monogamy. And so what we have to do is we have to stop. You know your role, play it. And that might sound real whatever, but you and Diddy got whatever you and Diddy have going on. When he with you, he your man. When he ain't with you, he ain't your man. And that's just it, and that's just all. Young Miami, I would have never responded to this woman, and I get it, you're young, hence the name. I get it. Right. But if you know who you were with after the party, then that's who you was with that night, which means that regardless of how she got a ticket, whether she bought a ticket herself, whether she slid in the back door, whether Diddy gave her a ticket, that ain't who he was with that night. So whoever he was with that night, that in my mind is who got the one up. Who was partying with him at the after party? Who was in all of the paparazzi pictures? It was her. So girl, go on about your business. And when you don't see him, when he ain't there, when he got his phone on Do Not Disturb, then it's Gina's day. And you go on and do what you're doing. That's, we stop expecting more from people than what they telling you they're going to give you. And definitely stop making yourself look stupid. Because you can be a fool quietly. You don't need to prove nobody you're a fool. You know what I'm saying?
Right. I agree. So you're just saying, play your position, kind of like Nick Cannon's harem of women.
Yeah.
You all know their position.
Right. And then Nick Cannon came out yesterday and said that they don't have to get along. They just got to get along with him. So he doesn't even care if they get along with each other, just so long as he get along with them. So my thing is,
that's so selfish,
because you are going to allow yourself.
All those kids are siblings. That is so.
I agree. I didn't agree with him saying that. But again, this is what these women are. They're settling for. You're allowing yourself to settle for this.
Right.
I don't agree with it, but you're allowing yourself to settle for it. Would I allow myself knowingly to be in this situation? Probably not. But if I were in a space where, look, I'm getting some Birkin bags, I'm flying private jets. If that's what was important to me, then okay, sure. But if you're going to allow yourself to be in this situation, then play your position. That's all I'm
Well stated. Well stated.
Yeah.
Exactly, Tracy. If he ain't married Kim, he ain't marrying none of y'all. So.
Yeah, and if he didn't marry Cassie, he's not marrying it. Like,
right, because he was with Cassie for about 20 years, child.
Sure was. And
he treated her good. I mean, from the outside looking in, as far as materialistically, I don't know how he treated her. Let me be clear, but materialistically, he treated her good. So listen.
He was in his feelings when she moved on too. I don't know if you remember, but
yeah, he was in his feelings a little bit because I don't think he ever thought she would go nowhere.
Right. And she went right on off with the fitness trainer.
Right, and it got married, had some babies, and she good.
She looked.
But that's the same thing with what's the same thing with Kim? Him and Kim would break up and make up and break up and make up and break up and make up, and I don't think it ever occurred to him that she would ever one day not be available to him. And I mean, unfortunately, it came in the form of her death. But I don't think it ever occurred to him that she would move on and be with another man permanently or any of that, because they did that on again, off again thing for so long that I don't think he ever wrapped his brain around the fact that one day she wouldn't be there to play that game with.
Right. Yeah, and then remember, he had a baby in between. The one Remember,
Yeah,
he
he
has
had the little girl. Because
yeah.
and I will listen. This one thing I will say about Diddy. Diddy is very active and takes care of his churn. Now I will say that he is very active. Hell, he take care of somebody else's churn because Quincy is not biologically his son, but he claims him.
Right, absolutely.
So I'll give
Okay.
him credit for that. Now
I'll give you a snap for that, Diddy.
Right.
Huh?
I said I'll give him a snap for that. You know.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I give him
we
credit
have
for
black
that
fathers.
because even that daughter, the daughter that he had, you know, they're always together. The three girls are always together. The twins and the daughter. Now the twins, of course, live with him, but the daughter, I guess, when she had when they, whatever the visitation arrangement they have set up. But I see the three of them together a lot on social media.
Right.
So you know, he's an active daddy. Now, what he's teaching them, that's a whole nother conversation.
That part.
Because I find. I'm sorry, were you gonna say that part piece? Because I don't want to overstep you about
That's
what
what I
Diddy
said.
Oh, about Diddy said about his daughters, about his daughters out here dating.
Oh no, go ahead. You can say it. You could, yeah.
No, so that Diddy was on the Ellen show, and I found it very interesting that like 2 days after all this went down on social media, he's on the Ellen show talking about his daughters dating and how he's worried about them dating and how he goes through their social media to make sure that. And I'm like, that's very interesting to me that you so worried about how another man is going, or the child, because they're kids, but how another boy is going to treat your daughters, and you out here treating somebody else's daughters crazy. But anyway,
right,
the hypocrisy of it all.
Usually, those type of men really do act that way once they have a daughter. You know, it kind of reminds me of T.I. and his daughter, how he was going to check to see if her virginity was lost. I was just like, oh my gosh. He would go into the doctor's appointments to check to make sure.
And he's so ignorant. Oh, he's so ignorant.
Ugh.
I just think that it definitely reeks of narcissism. And I'm not surprised with guys that are in that position of power and have that, type of money and influence. Yeah.
I have a problem with men who meet a woman in a certain space, and women do it too. But right now we're talking about men dating women, so I'm gonna speak from that perspective. I have a problem where you meet somebody and they're in a certain space, and then you expect them to change. So I say that to say with T.I., when you met Tiny, she was already Tiny of Escape. She was already making money. She was already a celebrity. She was already out there working and doing what she had to do. She was already a working mom because she had her daughter already. And you come along and you weren't T.I. then. I mean, you were a rapper and you was trying to do a little yang yang, but you were not who you are today. And he wanted her to quit her job. He wanted her to be a stay-at-home mom. And I'm thinking to myself, you met that woman and that's what she was doing. And it is not fair that now you want her to stop being who she is and dim her light for you. And again, that goes back to what you were just saying, Peace, about that narcissism, right? So now you meet a woman who has a star, who is a star, who has a light, and you want her to dim her light for you to shine brighter. I have a problem with people who do that.
Absolutely. I mean, that's some toxicity. And I'm not going to just voluntarily sign up for that. I think when you hear these celebs, when you hear these stories over and over again, I mean, just from the history of Diddy not committing to any woman in the past, personally, that's not a good fit for me. But I have to keep in mind that people do go into these relationships wanting just different things. And depending on where you are in your life, maybe, you value a Rolex watch a little bit more than your dignity and, self-worth and esteem. That's just not for me, So that's all I'll say about that. All right, y'all. So the next one is, let's see if I can move this. All right. I'm sorry, I don't mean to laugh. So the next one is the Johnny Depp. Why do I keep saying it's Amber, or is it Amanda?
Amber Heard.
I've been watching this case pretty much every day, and I want to say Amanda. So Johnny Depp versus Amanda Heard. So this week has been very interesting. I have kept you guys up to date on this. These two, they were in such a volatile, abusive relationship. And what they're trying to decide is who hit who is the actual aggressor. And based on the evidence that has been presented, the recordings that have been presented, it looks like Amber is more of the aggressor in this relationship. And it sounds like she really was the wolf who cried. What do they say? The wolf who
The boy
cried.
who cried wolf.
Yeah, the boy who cried wolf. So I hope and I pray personally that that he wins this case. I feel, and I said this last time, even if he loses, he still won, because now we see all the ins and outs of their relationships, her personality, the drama, the just all kinds of stuff where it's just like, this isn't adding up. She probably, I mean, after this, she probably is not going to get a job anywhere in Hollywood. This is just not, the type of PR that I think any movie production company would like to attach themselves to. So, we'll see. But like I said, this week, the trial has ended and the jury will begin the determination tomorrow, Friday the 27th. And the judge made sure to tell the jury to not do their own research or talk to anyone about the case. So just as a reminder, Depp is suing Heard for $50 million and Heard is countersuing for $100 million. So this week we heard the testimonies of several witnesses. Before there was the testimonies of Johnny Depp and of course Amber Heard. But this week was just, several different witnesses and some experts as well. And I must tell you, the personality of some of the witnesses and the experts that came from Amber Heard's side were I mean, they were hilarious. I mean, and they didn't mean to be, but they're just characters. You don't even believe you're watching a real trial. It really does feel like something out of a movie. Let's see. There was a surgeon that came on, and the surgeon's testimony contradicted the injury claim made by Depp. There was a lot of heavy questioning from Johnny Depp's team. I do want to say the biggest and most impressive lawyer, the one that I'm the most impressed by, the one that has gotten the biggest press and PR and has received the most spotlight, is Johnny Depp's lawyer Camille. She is a Latina lawyer, and she is all fire, no smoke. You hear me? She is rapid fast when it comes to the questioning. She's quick on the draw. She knows exactly where to find the information that needs to be found in order to get someone caught up in a straight up lie. I was so impressed by her. So this has definitely been entertaining. Like I said, I know that these are I do want to be sensitive to the fact that these are these people's lives, right? And I'm sure it was very dramatic. It was very traumatic for the both of them. So I don't want to make light of that. But this has definitely been, all the way from the poop in the bed to what else? It's just been crazy. A whole finger being chopped off, blood written on the wall, like a penis image written on the wall with blood. It's just unreal. So I'm so happy that this has come to an end, and I'm curious to know what the verdict will be.
Oh, me too, peace, love.
You're muted, babe.
My bad. Oh, really? B's muted.
Oh, my bad. Yeah, I was saying, the jury gets the case tomorrow, like closing arguments are tomorrow. So that is definitely going to be very interesting to see how that happens.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, the testimony has been crazy. I've listened to some of it, while I'm at work, like at lunch and stuff like that. And I listened to that surgeon. That surgeon was absolutely ridiculous.
Right. They had one expert that was giving testimony about, like he was basically trying to diagnose Johnny Depp
As
without
a
actually,
narcissist.
yeah, without actually sitting there and having a conversation with Johnny Depp. And it's like, how are you able to diagnose him as with some sort of mental disorder and you haven't actually sat down and had a conversation with the guy? I mean, it was just so wild. And he himself was a character like within himself. It was just like very animated. He would just go off track when it came to questioning. It was just it was a complete clown show. I'm not gonna even hold you up.
What were they trying to? What was the doctor trying to diagnose Johnny Depp with?
I forgot what he said that he had.
He was trying to say he was a narcissist.
A narcissist. Okay.
Oh.
Okay. I'm so sorry. I honestly was just laughing the whole time. So there is this channel called Asmund Gold, and he just does commentary on it, and he just cracks up the whole time, and he's very witty and fun. And so I'm just laughing. I'm not even getting. I'm not going to even hold you up. Some of it, I'm just like missing the gist of it because I'm just laughing the whole time. So, but yeah. Yeah, they even interviewed Kate Moss this week.
Yeah.
Because the sister, Amber Heard's sister, tried to basically attack. She tried to attack Johnny Depp. And she said that the reason why she did that was because she remembers reports back in the day of him, or rumors of him pushing Kate Moss down the stairs. And so for that reason, she went into attack mode. So what they did was they brought Kate Moss onto the stand, and she said, no, he didn't push me down the stairs. Actually, I fell down the stairs in the rain and I screamed out to him, and he came and got me, swooped me up and carried me back into the house. Like that was a complete rumor. So yeah, the defense team, I mean Johnny Depp's team, not the defense, but Johnny Depp's team really was like, they were on it. Any kind of accusation, I mean, they brought someone into court for questioning. They were not playing. So it was a good case. It really was.
It was definitely interesting.
Yeah, we need to take a poll on who is going to play Johnny Depp and Amber Heard when the Netflix documentary comes out.
I don't know, but whoever is gonna have to be hilarious because Johnny Depp was hilarious in this, and I don't even think he was meaning to be.
Right.
I will say I was shocked to find out how much of a drug addict Johnny Depp was. Like I didn't realize. I mean, I grew up on Johnny Depp. I'm old, so I remember Johnny Depp from 21 Jump Street, and I don't know. Not that I put him on a pedestal because I don't, but I was just I really was shocked. I really was shocked.
Yeah, and I can understand that because he's like in his profession, he does so well, So it's like, how do you even? It's just, yeah. And I wonder if being in the relationship with her pushed him to want to drink and smoke and things like that. Because he was just trying to, not feel the pain and trying to, mask all of the issues that he was going through. I don't think being in a relationship with her helped. I will say this: she is significantly younger than him, and I brought this up before. I think they're about 20 years apart, if not more.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Wow. I didn't know that.
Oh yeah. So I will say this: when guys are trying to trade you in for a new model, younger is not always better. That's all I'm trying to say. And even if you do decide that you want to trade a woman in for a new model, consider where they are emotionally, because a lot of people, even older people, they're just not emotionally mature. So when you're looking for someone to be in a relationship with, make sure that they're emotionally mature, because this definitely screams that her emotional stability was just completely off. So
agreed. Looking for love in all the wrong places.
Okay.
Right, exactly. That's all I have, dear.
Thank you so much, Peace Love. That was very insightful. I haven't been keeping up with the trial because I depend on you. Okay. to keep me abreast, but that was really, really insightful. I didn't know some of those things. So
Yep.
thank you.
Next month we have the Black China Rob Kardashian, so that's gonna be an interesting trial.
Oh,
We
that
go
will
right
be.
into another big
Yes.
celebrity trial. That's gonna be
Yes.
about the revenge porn. Yeah, so that's gonna be, I think it is at least gonna be very interesting.
I agree. Also, I did want to mention too, now that you're talking about upcoming trials, because we obviously are going to cover these things. The Eric Holder and Nipsey Hussle trial is coming up actually in June. I think on June 8th.
Oh,
So
okay.
don't quote me on the date, but I know it's coming up in June. So that is something that I want to keep an eye out for, and maybe we can cover it in these upcoming weeks.
Oh, absolutely. Because I'm gonna definitely be covering it on my channel. And exactly, Tracy, the Jen for my Real Housewives people, the Jen Shaw trial starts. I think it starts next month as well. In New York. So that's more of a Real Housewives if you're into the Real Housewives. But I will be reporting that. So we'll definitely be talking about it over here because child, I'm gonna be all up on it. Okay.
Okay. If we didn't say this already, I want to shout out to our cousin Cups of Conversation.
Yes,
And I don't know if she's in the
I know I
chat.
miss Cups. Yeah.
I know I miss
can't wait for her to
cousin.
come back.
Where's cousin?
We miss our cousin, man.
Hopefully
Did
she'll be
anybody
back
see her
the
in the
next
chat?
time. No, I haven't seen her. I haven't seen her yet.
Yeah, I haven't seen her in the chat, no. But I do know that she's been back on social media and stuff, so maybe she'll be back amongst us soon.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
And just so y'all know, we do talk to her behind the scenes, so we're still connected to her.
Oh yeah.
But no, we just don't see her in the chat now. But yeah, she's doing fine and she's in good health. So, yep.
Yes. All right. Next, we're gonna give our little update. Not little. Why do I say little all the time? We're gonna give some updates on Wendy Williams, and then Lord have mercy, the scandal of Black Lives Matter. All the
it just keeps unraveling more and more and more.
Girl, go ahead, really be break it on down. Break it on down.
Okay, so Wendy Williams. So Wendy Williams went to court last week. We know, or if you don't know, Wendy Williams has not had access to her money since last year. Was it last year or was it earlier this year? It was earlier this year. I don't think it was last year. Wells Fargo, we know that there were issues with Wendy Williams' health and there were concerns. And so what I found out, I got a little more tea. I got a little more dirt because I talked to one of my friends who is an attorney who got a little more tea. But what happened was because we were always trying to figure out, well, what happened with that Wells Fargo took such an extreme step. So what happened was the person at the bank that Wendy Williams had been working with for like 10 years, right, at Wells Fargo. She had been working with Wendy Williams. She had been working with Wendy Williams' husband when they were still, married and everything. Well, there was some questionable transactions. And then it got to the point where Kevin was actually calling the bank asking for money to be transferred out of Wendy Williams' account into his account. And that raised the red flag, and she really did not feel comfortable with what she felt was going on with Wendy Williams and with her money. She was not able to speak with Wendy Williams in a way that she felt comfortable that this is really what Wendy wanted. And so she alerted the bank. She sent her concerns, to her bosses, and her bosses took this extreme measure to freeze Wendy Williams' bank account. Once that happened, at first, Wendy Williams couldn't do anything with her bank account. I mean, absolutely nothing. Then her lawyers were able to get Wells Fargo to at least release enough money to pay her bills. So her bills and her payroll and all that was covered, but she still could not do a lot with her money as far as her personal, day-to-day, going out shopping, going to get something to eat or whatever. So she went to court last week. And what the judge decided was that they were going to give her a financial advisor. And this is only until July, you guys. So it's only for like 3 months. And the financial advisor, part of the duties of the financial advisor is one, to make sure that whatever requests that are coming through are reasonable requests. Two, to make sure that the requests that are coming through Wendy, that it is Wendy wanting this money or Wendy spending this money. And three, to make sure that it's not anything like ridiculous. Now I saw it as a win. A lot of people on my channel beat me up over it and was like, it ain't no win because she wanted her money. I know she wanted her money, but I feel like the judge sort of split the baby, meaning I'm not going to give you 100% control, but I'm going to take away so much control from the bank. Now, I know that a financial advisor, I mean, depending on the personality of the person you're dealing with, it could be an okay experience or it could be a really bad experience. A person could say, no, you can't spend any money on anything. But I still feel like Wendy walked out of that courtroom in a better position than she walked in. Now, that's my opinion. Now, some people can argue with me and say that they don't agree, but I think that she walked out better than she walked in. And then between now and July, when the financial advisor submits their report to the court, then the court will decide, oh, okay, well, it seems like Wendy is good. She knows what she's doing. She's a sound mind and body. Here go your ATM card. You know what I mean? So that's the update that I have. And like I said, some of that information came from an attorney. Can I give her a shout out? It's okay. I'm on your channel, so I don't want to.
Absolutely.
If y'all check out Girl Is That Legal, that's it's Girl, Is That Legal. She has a YouTube channel. She is an attorney, and she's covered this on her channel. And so she was able to give me a little more insight on what really sparked the worker down to the bank and what made Wells Fargo take this extreme step. Now, of course, Wendy has come out and said she's just a disgruntled employee. I fired her. She's just mad. But I knew there had to be more for the bank to take this extreme measure that they took. So that's the update.
And second of all, Wendy needs to just fire Wells Fargo altogether, because word on the curb on the street is their minority report. I don't know if that's the right term, but it ain't looking so hot.
Well, Wells Fargo has had issues for a while. Remember, a couple of years ago, they got in trouble for having people had accounts that they didn't even know about because they were putting so much pressure on the employees to open up all these accounts that people were opening up dummy accounts. They were using real customers, but opening up these dummy accounts. So Wells Fargo, listen.
Girl, some shady.
So I feel like once she gets control of her money, I feel like whatever money she has at Wells Fargo will no longer be at Wells Fargo, honestly.
Definitely. So thank you, Really B. And I'm gonna look into that channel that you just mentioned. Girl, is that legal? Question mark. Because
that's it.
Yeah, I think
I'll send you the link.
Okay, thank you. Okay, one more update, and then we're about to be out of here. We're about to be done, you guys. So, as we kind of talked about already, the former Black Lives Matter co-founder, Patrisse Cullors, according to the Neighborhood Talk, she's been using Black Lives Matter's funding to pay her friends and her families large sums of money for various things, one of which she paid, and she called them consulting services, which could have been any dang thing. She paid her baby's father $97, girl, almost $1 million, okay, for creative services, okay?
I feel like that's a creative title for your creative services.
Yes. And what else? $840,000 for providing security services for the foundation. She paid her cousin for this. What kind of security was he providing? I wonder. But anyway, exorbitant amounts of money. So she's been found out. So it's no wonder that she stepped down. Because she was caught. Now she claims that she stepped down because She didn't want public backlash. She was trying to protect the organization. But now it's coming out that she probably really stepped down because she was in her waste and fraud. So, what is the story and the moral of the day here, guys? Basically, when you're in charge of someone else's funding, please appropriate it correctly. Number two, what's done in the dark is gonna most assuredly come out to the light. So if you think you're doing all these sneaky little things and it's not gonna get caught up with you, or you're not gonna have some consequences and repercussions, please think again because it's gonna catch up. Okay. With that said, we're going to close this thing out. I want to thank every single person for being here in the chat. I really love tonight. Thank you, Peace Love, Really BTV. Shout out to Cups of Conversations. Thank you, everybody who subscribed to my channel. We're going to do, I have a couple of self-care tips because one of the things I always preach about on this channel is practice abundant. Oops, let me take this off. Practice abundant self-care. So, hello. I got a new recipe from Stella Rosa on how to make. Yes, and
okay,
Stella Rosa
a new recipe. Okay,
is my freaking favorite. Oh my gosh! So, this is a summertime cocktail. It's really simple, 4 ingredients. So you need Stella Rosa peach. I should have had because I have a bottle in my fridge. I should have just brought that out. But anyway, you need Stella Rosa peach. You need some honeydew melon, some watermelon cantaloupe, and then you just add a little mint leaf garnish on top, and you have yourself a little summertime drink.
Okay.
So you guys, make you some. Get you some Stella Rosa peach, okay?
Yeah, it's definitely. I would definitely think that's a nice, summertime drink. Yeah, I like peaches. I like fruity type drinks. So Stella Rosa.
Me too.
Right up there. Yeah.
And speaking of cocktails and speaking of summer, one of the tips that I wanted to give is take time out, plan out some nice summer activities, solo and family activities, because especially if you're on the West Coast, it's beautiful. And when you take time, to get outside, take time to do things that are not in front of the screen, it really is refreshing and rejuvenating. Mm-hmm. So if you're one of those people that like to do like DIY kind of things, if you're crafty, if you're creative, exercise your creativity more often. It's going to boost your mood. It's going to help your brain cells not be so fried. Okay. And and then the last thing I want to say, if you're suffering from any kind of allergies right now, or if you are one of those people that are on the computer a lot and you have like puffy eyes, I saw this really cool tip that really helps. And all you need literally is a cucumber. So you'll shave the cucumber with like a cheese grater. Okay. Cucumber is like 98% water. So it's going to be like water with the cucumber shavings. You're going to cut some cotton pads in half, like the face cotton pads, put them in a glass jar, let them soak in the refrigerator overnight. And then the next night you have your own homemade eye patches with the cucumber.
Interesting.
Okay. So treat yourself to some of these self-care things. And
is that the purpose of the cucumber? I've seen that at spas where they put the cucumber on your eyes, but I'm like, I never understood the reason for that. Is it because it has water in? I don't
really.
Yeah, I was always told it helps pull out that puffiness, whatever in your eyes. But I don't know.
It's really hydrating, and it has vitamins. It has a lot of nutrients. It's really hydrating. And if you want to now this is another little tip. If you want to help your vision, you can add some aloe vera, like natural aloe vera, in to that cucumber solution. And that will also be really beneficial for just resetting and refreshing your eyes.
Okay.
So I'm looking forward to trying that.
Yeah, at least try it. Let us know how it goes.
Okay, I will.
Right.
Yes, let us know how it goes for sure.
I will. Any final words before we get on out of here?
No, thank you for having us. So I guess the next rotation is going to be Cup. So if not, it'll be on Peace Love. So be on the lookout and we'll know you guys where we're going to be next.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. Exactly.
Perfect.
All
All
right,
right, guys.
All right. It's good to see y'all.
Thank you so
It's
much.
good to see you.
Enjoyed
Thank you guys for
everybody.
being here. Appreciate everybody who's here. The mods that are in the chat. Appreciate you.
Yes, thank you.
Yes. Please make sure you subscribe to all of our channels. Thank you.
Yes, please. Thank you.
Please and thank you.
Please and thank you. All right, guys. Bye.
All right. Bye, everybody.
Okay, ladies.